Welcome back to Fantasy Beech Boys episode number 11. This is our second fantasy baseball segment. Underrated versus overrated. This is a segment we'll be running all year. I don't know. I'm fired up for fantasy baseball season. How about you, Jackson?
I'm fired up for fantasy baseball. I love watching baseball. I'm excited, especially I'm a big Jays guy. I'm also a Rockies guy, so I'm also a little disappointed right now in my life. Nobody bring up any topics about the Rockies. This is actually our third baseball segment, sneak peek. You didn't know, maybe not. Nobody knows yet. We have a special guest that maybe could be released, maybe not. That's further coming. But yeah, second fantasy baseball episode. Hopefully this one pops off.
Yeah, so we just want to tell the viewers all our information, ADP and rank, comes from fantrax.com, so you can check it out there. That's what we're referring to on the overlays. You'll see it to our left. And then, so let's just start off. Let's go underrated. So we're each going to pick two players, two underrated, two overrated, and who we think is the best outfielder fantasy-wise in the MLB. So Jackson, kick it off. Who's your first underrated player?
First underrated player, I'm going to go home bias here, my boys. Charlie Blackmon, Colorado Rockies. I think with Arenado gone, his production goes up even more. He's just going to have a bigger role there. The ball flies in Colorado. He was projected ADP, it was at 20, and I can't see him being at 20 with, he's only had 1 year since 2015 that he's batted less than 300. He's a decently quick guy. He puts the ball in play. He hits the ball well. I'm just surprised he's that low at 20. I think with Arenado gone, he's still got Story around. He'll probably hit in front of Story, so I imagine he scores a lot of runs too, but this guy should not be down at 20. Blackmon has produced too much in too many consecutive years to be that low.
Yeah, I think it's tough to tell if his value is going to go up with Arenado leaving. It's obviously a big hit to that Rockies roster. They could be terrible this year.
Yeah, they could be terrible, honestly. But someone's got to produce, and it's him and Story. And that's all that's left.
I don't mind that. I do not think that he should be the 20th ranked outfielder, like you said. Yeah. He should not be the 20th ranked outfielder, so I agree with that decision. My first underrated outfielder is a newer guy who obviously was a shocker in playoffs, Randy Arozarena. He's ranked 23rd. I was shocked to see that he's the 23rd ranked outfielder. The way he played in playoffs, I mean, he hit 402 in playoffs. Like, you're not facing shit pitching in playoffs. You're facing the best pitching there is. I was telling you before this, I think we're going to find out that Randy is legit, like he's still legit, or we're going to find out that he's taking roids. So it's one or the other that we're going to find out. And I don't understand why he's the 23rd ranked outfielder. I think that he could easily be in the top 10 this year, fantasy-wise. That's what I saw. He can hit for power. He gets RBIs. He hits for average. I mean, he was showing everything.
Yeah, he broke how many of Jeter's? Wasn't it Derek Jeter's records?
Yeah.
How many records? I can't even tell you how many. I don't even know.
Like, the guy was a beast. You got to think, like...
It was the best rookie playoff performance probably ever.
Yeah, like, I'm taking him high in drafts every draft I'm in. Yeah. Definitely higher than what he's projected right now. Yeah. So I like Randy Arozarena as my first underrated guy.
My next guy, Austin Meadows, Tampa Bay Rays. He was hurt for a good little chunk of the season last year, didn't play in too many games, and he hit poorly when he was around. The year before that with the Rays, he hit very well. And then this is really why I like him, is because that year with the Rays wasn't really a fluke, because before he played with the Pirates, he still... Yeah, it was with the Pirates. He still hit over 300 with the Pirates the year before that. So it's not a fluke that first year he was with the Rays. I think last year was just he was injured, and now people are kind of overlooking him, saying, thinking that before he went to the Rays. No, he was overlooked even before he came to the Rays. That's why the Rays picked him up, and he was good. He was already good. So I think he's going to produce again this year, and the Rays got to step it up now that their division looks really good. So I think Meadows is going to produce a lot for them.
Yeah, I think Meadows, that's a good call. I mean, he came back from injury. He could be a little bit of a sleeper this year. He's ranked lower down there. I think he's a good complement to Arozarena, obviously, in that lineup. Meadows hits a little lower in the lineup, I believe. Big body who can hit for power, so I like that. My second underrated guy is Aaron Judge, some guy who you'll see near the top. You're surprised to see him ranked 14th outfielder, but To be honest, I wasn't too surprised because he's usually always ranked pretty low, except for the one year he hit 52 home runs. But no, I think this guy, obviously, he's just ranked low because of injury prone. He's not the reason why I'm saying he's underrated is because he's ranked low, not because of his talent. He's ranked low mostly because of he usually gets injured, which I don't like. So I would take the risk on Judge. I mean, the guy easily has the talent to be a top 5 fantasy outfielder. So I like Aaron Judge.
I love Aaron Judge there too, but like you said, the one risky part would be the injuries. He's kind of a Band-Aid, which does suck. But I mean, if you could get him and he stays healthy the whole year, it'd be pretty dangerous if you get him at a decent couple rounds in, because he does fall and people are overlooking him. But I wouldn't be surprised that most people, just because of the name, do try and pick him up early. So I still wouldn't stretch there just because of the injury prone. If you stretch and then he gets hurt, that's just tough. Yeah. Anyway, switching over to overrated guys. I think I'll take it away first here. My first overrated guy coming in at number 11 is Luis Robert of the Chicago White Sox. He only played last year, the shortened season in the MLB. He's a young guy, and his only major league season was last year, and people are already projecting him to just skyrocket just because he's a young guy. He hasn't even got a full 162 game season in, and he only hit 233 last year. His OBP was 302. Only hit 11 bombs, 31 RBIs. That's pretty good actually for a shortened season. But they're just projecting that he's only had 50 games under his belt. I think as a young guy, you need to see a few more ABs, get a full season under your belt, not that shortened season, to improve. I would imagine he sticks kind of around what he was last year. Crappy average, crappy OBP, but hits a lot of bombs because he does hit the ball hard. But 11's just way too high for a guy just going into his second year and still hasn't had a full regular year yet in the MLB. I don't like that at all.
I love Luis Robert just in general, and I think he's going to be a stud in the MLB. Do I think he's ready to be ranked 11th ranked outfielder in the MLB? No, I do not. I think he could struggle this year. It sucks that his first year was in a shortened season. I mean, he's going to be grinding through a full MLB season. It's not the same as what they were playing. I mean, I like him because he's a 5-cat. Like, he gets swipes, he's got speed, he can hit the ball hard. But his average in the shortened season was very bad. And for a first season coming in, he should not be ranked number 11th. I agree. But I do like Luis Robert. My first overrated player, to be honest, I don't know why he's ranked this high, and I don't know why everyone has this guy ranked high. Kyle Tucker on the Houston Astros. They have him ranked 9th outfielder. I mean, the guy's a career 244 hitter. Obviously, that's including his first 2 years were shit, so it's kind of, he did play well last year. I'll give it to him, and I'm guessing they have him up high because Springer is out of the Astros organization, and this guy's going to have to take a bigger role with the team. I don't know. I think it's just we're predicting that he's just going to step up into the role. Like, it's only his 4th year in the MLB, and we just think that he's just going to play way better. He does have speed. He can hit for power. He had mid-40s ribbies in a shortened season, which was pretty good. He was almost averaging an RBI a game. But I think it's too early. I wouldn't draft this guy early, so that's my overrated player.
Yeah, they have a lot of younger guys. I would say they have about 3-4 guys in about the top 15 that are all going into their 2nd or 3rd or maybe even 4th years, and they're all expecting these guys to break out all in the same season. I'm like, there's not going to be like 4 of these dudes just randomly breaking out of like nowhere. But anyways, I like that pick too, but you're right about losing Springer. Obviously, he's got a major role in that lineup now. Moving on to my next one, I'm going against my boys here. Teoscar Hernandez was 17 on the Fantrax Outfielders. And what I don't like about this, I love him and I think he's a great player. And do I think he's a top 20 outfielder? No. And probably that's just because of the lineup the Jays have. This guy's probably going to hit like 7 in the lineup. You're telling me he's going to get that many limited ABs, and I know he's going to see some more fastballs down in the lower end of the lineup, but there's just only so much production that can happen in a game. Like, they got Springer, Bichette, Vladdy, Simeon, Biggio. Biggio and him probably, depending on the game. I would imagine Biggio actually hits higher, though, than him. He's just too far down in the lineup to be a top 20 outfielder. You need to see more at-bats. I mean, see more pitches, get more at-bats, and that's how you hit the ball better. And I don't see him being that low. You're not going to have – because at this rate, him being number 17, you're projecting that the Jays are going to have like 6 dudes hit 20 bombs. It's not going to happen. Somewhere the production's going to fall off, and this is where I think it's going to fall off for the Jays.
Yeah, he is high at 17. I mean, you could get someone who's top of the lineup, has a major role on the offense, and Hernandez. They won't be playing in Buffalo, but they will be playing probably in Dunedin, it's looking like, which is still a little friendlier. But this guy's weird. I mean, obviously he's not very good defensively. He'll probably be mostly playing DH, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. He can hit for power, but like you said, I don't think he's going to have a major role in this offense. That's the issue.
This is really the other thing I wanted to look at too. He might DH. The Jays are all over the place because of Simeon now and what they're going to do with their lineup, but they still got Grichuk.
Yeah, I know.
And if say Teoscar goes on a 2 or 3 game stretch where he doesn't hit well,
he's going to play bench.
Grichuk in, he might sit for a couple games. And then you're telling me this guy's a top 20 outfielder? There's a good chance he sits because they'll probably want to play Gurriel over him because Gurriel's younger and they want to produce until someone gets traded. Who knows?
No, I completely agree with that. I do think if he plays bad, he will sit, and he has a short leash. I have overrated Starling Marte. I don't know how this guy is ranked 12th outfielder. He seems like he always just is staggering along in fantasy. I never like drafting him ever. I will never draft Starling Marte. I mean, he's 32 years old. He's ahead of George Springer. That's just crazy to me. When he got traded from Arizona to Miami, he hit 245 with Miami. Miami somehow made the playoffs, in expanded playoffs. I just don't think Miami's going to be good this year at all. Like, they're going to be what we thought they were going to be last year. They're going to be bad. Starling Marte is going to look old. He can't steal anymore. Let's be honest. I mean, the guy's 32. He's got a family. But no, I think this is just too low. He's ranked just 12.
He's getting old and playing for a crappy team. Yeah. These things just add up over time.
Yeah. So I think we see a decay there. So that's our overrated, underrated. Now we're going to go into who we think is the best fantasy outfielder in 2021. What's our prediction? Jackson, start us off.
This might be boring, but I'm just telling you, I'm just straight facts here. It is Mike Trout. Don't put your marbles anywhere else. This is like Tom Brady of the MLB. You don't bet against him. I'm betting Bucks all the way this weekend, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to bet Trout next year, and that's what I'm going to do. You can't get away from this guy. He has been consistently not slowing down whatsoever. No major signs of production slowing down for this guy. But the Angels, this is like his year, too. I think if they go out and get Bauer sooner or later, this is his year to finally make that playoff push that he's wanted. And that's the only thing he doesn't have to his resume is a playoff run or even a World Series, like something like that. And this is what he needs. So I think if they go out and get one more starting pitcher, he's got a real shot here, and it's going to be on his shoulders. So that's why I think he's going to be the best player this year, because I feel like he's always played on crappy teams. And as soon as he gets on this good team, he's going to just have to roll, and he's going to be the guy.
Yeah, I think Trout's obviously, everyone thinks, he's gonna get worse, and he just never gets worse. Obviously, the guy's an absolute beast, and the outfield position we got some young studs coming up, and I would say the first 5 ranked outfielders are interchangeable. You can't go wrong with drafting any of those guys first, and that's why I am going with Juan Soto. Do I think he is the best outfielder out of the 5? Hell no. He is definitely not the best defensive outfielder, but it's fantasy baseball. And Juan Soto is only 22 years old. He's young. And you know what? Like, you think about it. In 2019, I remember he came out. He had a great rookie year. He started out like shit. The guy still finished with 110 RBIs. Okay? He gets COVID in the shortened season, comes back and hits 351. I believe he led the MLB, or he was second in average. This guy's a beast. He's 22 years old. He's a 98. I think this is the year where he just goes off. He's gonna lead. He might be the best fantasy player this year in the MLB.
I love Juan Soto mostly just because of his confidence. That guy, he's got some cojones on this guy. This guy walks around with a wheelbarrow, dude. This guy has so much confidence, and that's why I love him. That's what it takes in sports. But that's our overrated, underrated, and our projected who we think top outfielder of the year. That's episode 7.